this thing pinched.
Those of us that indulge in or commit intellectual violence only do so for the pleasure of mental masturbation or ego diddling. We do so because the chains of oppression on people's minds are so deep and difficult to remove.
Good morning, my children of the sun. Welcome to the Open Eye on WHGE 95.3 FM, the Advocacy Education Station. I'm your host and third eye optometrist, Patrice Gibbs. Yes, the ring the bell, school's in. Today I want to start my show with, I guess, a bit of sadness. It's the only way to describe it. On December 11th, 1960, Sharon Anita Gibbs was born. That's my late sister. My first buddy, my first best friend. The other side of my heart. I miss you, Peachy. She would be 61 today. Today's show is dedicated to my beloved sister, Peachy. Love you, Peach. The name of that song is Fun All Day because when me and Peachy were together, that's what we had. Fun all day. Hey, Brother Vaughn, what's up, bro? All right. Ass is fogging up. Okay. Yeah, matter of fact.
Views and opinions expressed on the Open Eye are those of the host, guests, and contributors, and do not reflect the policy or position of WHGE 5.3 FM or our sponsor, who are represented. Any content provided by Open Eye's hosts, guests, or contributors are theirs and are not intended to be representation, ethics,
WHGE 95.3 FM. This is Patrice Gibbs, your third eye optometrist. Yes, indeed. I will be joined shortly by my partner in consciousness, my brother Nsoromma. He missed last week. He was a little under the weather. He will be back this week. All right, listen. There is a show online on YouTube. That's where I usually catch it, called Indisputable. And it is hosted by, what is his name? Dr. Richie Rashad. That's his name. That's the brother's name that hosts this show. And he has a segment on his show called I Wish a Karen Would. And what he does is, he highlights and does reports on Karenicity, as he calls it. And we all know what that is. That's when white women step out of their place with their arrogance and white privilege and pull up on black people and let them know how they feel about where they're at, where they feel they don't belong, and make false accusations against black people and what have you. Like this one report he did. Is a woman, she's labeled the TikTok Karen. She accused a black man of phone theft. And finds the phone in her purse a few minutes later. It's almost unbelievable how many new cases of Karens have been reported since the term first became popular a few years ago. Excuse me. With each racist situation involving white women making false accusations feeling bolder than the one before. In a similar fashion to the Walmart Karen from this past summer that accused a black man of stealing her phone only to find it in her car, a new TikTok Karen emerged and decided to one-up her predecessor by doing the exact same thing. Where was her phone the whole damn time, you ask? Sitting comfortably in her purse. Now, she couldn't find her phone, and she started looking around, and as soon as she saw a black man, he did it. And as she's going through her purse, looking at the video, I suspect she found her purse before she owned up to the fact that she did find her purse. Because she kept moving her purse back from the clerk. She wouldn't give up her phone number, so the clerk in Walmart, she wouldn't give up her phone number, so the clerk could dial her phone and see what happened, see where it was when it rang. You lose your phone, that's what you do. Get somebody to dial your number, and and the phone rings. She came up with all kind of stuff. Well, what difference does it make if I give him the phone number? Because he's got it in his pocket, and he probably put the silent on. This is just an excuse. And then when she did finally find it, she started apologizing profusely. And much to my pleasure, the black man that she accused and the lady that was with him, I don't know, was his wife or girlfriend or whatever, they didn't accept her apology. They pretty much told her to go to hell, which is what they should have did. You kidding me? I'm tired of these damn Karens. One of the reasons I bring this up is something that I realized as I watch these Karenicity events, situations take place. Now, I've seen, I've like most of us, I've been seeing it happen over the years, the past few years of what happened. And a lot of times when Karen, with her perceived authority, approaches a black person and starts questioning them, they start answering the questions. Oh, I'm here doing my job. Oh, I work for this person. Oh, I'm supposed to be here. Oh, like trying to back the Karen down like that. And I've seen a couple of people that know how to handle these Karens. Because, like I said, the man's show, Dr. Richie's segment is called I Wish a Karen Would. That's my motto. I wish a Karen would. I haven't had the real opportunity to, deal with a Karen, but I wish a Karen would. Because let me tell you how you're supposed to handle a Karen. When Karen come up, ask you, what you doing here? Who the hell are you? Well, what's your name? What's your name? Well, why are you here? None of your goddamn business. That's your stock answer to Karen. Karen ain't got no business up in your... She's not a cop. She has no authority. But see, this is the mindset. And you have to understand where this comes from. See, there was a time when, during slavery, any white person could roll up on a black person and ask for their freedom papers or their pass to be away from the plantation. Well, these Karens and Kens still have that mindset that they have the authority to make a black person explain to them what they're doing and why they're where they're at. I'll be damned. I wish a Karen would. I'll tell you something else. And I've seen this, and I saw a brother walking in front of me. It was snow on the ground. And there was one little path to walk down the street. Now, this brother walking in front of me going the same direction I was. Coming towards us were two white men. Now, I'm talking about 2019 this happened. This ain't happened back in 1920 or 1919 or whatever. Just a couple of years ago. And as we're walking down this path and these white men coming towards us, he stepped off in the snow to let them white men pass. I'll be damned. I had just as much right, and he had just as much right to walk down that path as those white men did. I didn't step off no damn where. I kept right on going and made them step out of my way. And I'll tell you something, the reaction, and I've had this reaction just walking down the street in downtown Wilmington. They get a look on their face as if to say, how dare you not move out my way? Shit, are you kidding me? How dare you not move out my way? Because there was a time when it was law. If you were a black person walking down the street and a white person was coming up the street, you had to step off the sidewalk, off into the street, the mud, or whatever, and get out their way. Well, those days are gone, and I'll be damned if I were to adhere to that white supremacy tradition. You kidding me? You kidding me? And I tell you something else. You know, there were all kind of things that went on during slavery in the days of Jim Crow. You've all heard of a laughing barrel. Do you know where that came from? Well, I'm going to tell you. During slavery in the days of Jim Crow, if you were a black person on the street and something struck you funny, in many southern towns, there were barrels on the street. And as a black person, you were to go stick your head in that barrel and laugh so as not to give a white person the impression that you were laughing at them, because this could get you lynched. These were the conditions we were living under. Shoot, you kidding me? Not the kid. No, I wish a Karen would. That's for damn sure. I'll take a little musical break here. Where we at? Okay. WHGE 95.3 FM. The Open Eye. What's up, boy? Hey, Sherry. Yep, just a newer version to show me your papers. WHGE 95.3 FM, The Open Eye, with your third eye optometrist and host, Patrice Gibbs. Hey, some people don't like me. Oh, guess how much sleep I lose over that? Not a damn bit. Oh, yeah. We had someone complain hard and loud about me being on the air. And the crazy thing was, this was a minister, a black minister. Said, I talk too black. I am anti-Christian, atheist. I'm not an atheist. I'm not a Christian, but I'm not an atheist. I believe in the Creator. Okay? Tell you why this person don't like me. Because I said some things like, hey, you're not feeling very bright today? Smile and remember, and I said this last week, there's some grown adults who actually believe that two penguins walked all the way from Antarctica to the Middle East to get on board an ark built by a 500-year-old man. Jeez Louise. And some people actually believe that. And I criticize you for that. And that's why some of these people don't like me. Let me ask you something. Was there ever a time in ancient Africa where melanated people burned people alive, gouged eyes, crushed limbs, used torture methods to rip flesh, remove tongues from oral cavities, drown or physically assault people into submission, having them convert to another faith? These were the methods used by the Catholic Church and later used by colonizers on plantations to convert non-believers into accepting Christ. And it didn't start there. You know, the Spanish Inquisition, where Christian leaders came to your door and killed you if you weren't following the faith. Don't believe me. Do the research yourself. That's word. And for that Christian that would like to have me off the air because I've criticized Christianity, know that I do not just criticize Christianity. Because Islam and Christianity did not become major religions by the quality of its truths, but by the quantity of its violence. Dr. Clark teaches us that Judaism, Islam, and Christianity are male chauvinist murder cults as practiced. You don't think so? Like I said, these religions do not become major by the quality of their truths, but by the quantity of the violence committed on non-believers. Actually has nothing to do with the spirituality that these religion systems should be adhering to. It's just nuts. WHGE 95.3 FM, this is The Open Eye. Now, last week, during the show, near the end of the show, I told you about economic hitmen of global white supremacy. Okay? And what these economic hitmen do, and especially primarily in Africa, is they go into the country to rob them of their resources in African countries. Well, I tell you one country that's had enough, and probably should have had enough a long time ago. The Democratic Republic of the Congo will no longer allow the country's minerals to be processed outside of Africa. Now, why is that important? Because what you have to understand is the profits are not really in the raw materials. The profits are in the processed materials, which the Western world won't buy from Africa. They insist on buying the raw material cheaply and then processing it in their own countries and selling it back to Africa at exorbitant prices. Well, the Democratic Republic said, that's it, that's enough. Tell you something about the Democratic Republic of Congo. As you know, my name is Patrice. And I was named after Patrice Lumumba, the first prime minister of the Congo. When I was in the Air Force, my first base was March Air Force Base in California. And while I was there, I received another assignment. And that assignment was to Belgium. And I was like, this could be interesting. Sending me overseas to Belgium, yeah. Well, remember, Belgium were colonizers under Leopold, was he the second, that almost committed genocide in the Congo. Belgium robbed the Congo of its resources, primarily rubber tree plants. This was their big, their big resource that Belgium wanted. And the people of the Congo, had to harvest the rubber trees, and they had to make a quota. And if they didn't make that quota, they would be killed or punished. What they would do is they would take an adult and tell them, okay, this is your quota. If you don't make your quota, we're going to take your child and cut off his right hand. Now, this is how sick these colonizers were, and still are. Because in Belgium, you can buy chocolate candy hands in memory of the people that were dogged, abused in Congo. WHGE 95.3 FM. Dove and I, joined by our intellectual surgeon, my brother in consciousness, Nsoromma. What's up, brother? Welcome back.
Wagwan.
Yes, indeed. Good to have you back, brother.
I'm blessed to be back, bro.
I know that's
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
Yes,
Hello,
indeed.
world. What's good?
Yeah.
Hope all is well to everyone. You dig? What's good? What's good? I hear you.
man.
I heard you coming in.
You heard me coming in?
You was on Karen and Kent.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Hey,
I
yo,
was definitely on
remember,
camera.
hold up. But remember the time that, a white person couldn't walk down our hood without them, we knowing who you are?
I'm done all right.
You remember that, right?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Yeah.
That's basically everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But what was the reason for that?
I mean, we didn't dislike white people at that point. I mean, you couldn't just walk down our block because you was white.
Yeah.
Period. And
Yeah,
there
you
was
could.
a reason for that.
Yeah.
That
But
the
there was
reason.
some neighborhoods you better not take your white butt in.
Right, and then that's what I'm saying. That's where we were at. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I mean, we didn't kill them.
No.
Right.
But
And
we
that's
let
the
them know they
difference.
wasn't welcome.
Right, but that's the difference.
Mhm.
We understand that it's a life there.
Yeah.
And when it's in their situation, they'll kill you.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, they can.
that's the big difference. You know
Between
what I'm
us
saying?
and them.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have to understand the difference.
Mhm.
We have a little more kindness and care.
Mhm.
We care.
We have a sense of humanity.
Right. We rather get along with you than war with you.
We would.
You know what I'm saying?
And that might be a mistake on our part, and
I
it
know.
may have been a mistake on the part. And that's something else, bro.
But
Because when Europeans first visited Africa,
Right.
the African was welcoming to them. It's like, oh, yeah, hey, come on in, you know. Let me teach you a little something. Let me teach you how to eat. Let me teach you how to do this. Come on, have a sit down with us.
Right.
Having no idea that these evil colonizers will move in after being welcomed in your house, rape your wife, kill you, and enslave your children.
I mean, that's like a Trojan horse. You heard of that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Same scenario.
Same scenario.
They're thinking better than self. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. You know, and you know,
I think that's just greed too. I think that's just the greed part in the human. You know what I'm saying? Because people do that on jobs, you know, working for better positions and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Even your own kind do that to you. You know?
Oh yeah, that's weird. But like I said, you know, they will come into our land and, you know, and what it would start with would be the missionaries. Many of you who have studied our history know this little scenario. The missionaries from Europe came into Africa with the Bible. And they said, kneel and pray to God. And our people kneeled and prayed. And when they got up, they had the Bible and the colonizers had the land.
Right.
Maybe it's time you give up that Bible. And that's word, because it's corrupted at any rate.
Because they actually knew that God didn't come from the book.
You know, it's interesting that I saw one story where some Aborigines were dealing with some colonizers.
Right.
And the colonizer said, you know, if you don't accept Jesus into your life, whom you've never heard of, you will be condemned. He said, well, damn, what you telling me about him for? If I had never heard of him, I wouldn't have to worry about being condemned with this mess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the war. That's where the war lies. If I can mentally beat you up and keep you so blind that you don't even know you're being beat up.
How about that?
That you want to get beat up. You want to be beat up.
Yeah.
So you come to me and knock on my door and go, yo, can you beat me up today?
Yeah, because that's what you used to. You know, it makes me think of my cousin with her children, with her boys, right?
Right.
These boys could not go to bed without a whooping.
I think I was one of those.
Yeah, I might have been too. Nah, they could not go to bed without a whooping. And when they were actually being behaved,
right,
which was rare, you know, and they were quiet and it was time to go to bed.
They think something was wrong with it.
Yeah, they come and ask me, ain't you gonna give us a whipping before we go to bed?
I can't sleep.
Yeah, I can't sleep without a whooping.
Yes.
You know, and unfortunately, in adulthood, some of our people's mindset is, well, you know, white people ain't came around and dogged us in a while. Maybe we need to do some crime or something. You know, and that's unfortunately, you know, that mindset. And we feed into, you know, to many of our people, feed into what they have told us about our history, that we have no history to speak of. Let me tell you something. Did you know the oldest writing system was developed by Africans not 6,000 years ago, but 60,000 years ago?
Right.
In South Africa. This system was made of identifiable symbols that communicated a message, such as name of communities and what have you. This was a writing system.
Right.
And that writing system evolved into what we call hieroglyphics, which evolved into Phoenician alphabet, which is the root of the alphabet worldwide.
Wow.
Even in Russia, it was a black man that organized the Russian language into a written language.
Did you know the United States is the only country that really doesn't celebrate the black man attribute to to the planet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, because what they're teaching is that we made no contribution to the planet. And they're teaching that for a reason. Yeah.
Crazy, man.
Yeah. And the reason they're teaching that is because they have to be justified in their lack of humanity towards our people.
Right.
And declare us as not deserving of humanity because we aren't even human.
So if they looking at us like that, why they got us all in their tax brackets? Why they got us participating in all the things that, the government say that we're not part of, but we have to insert our money, insert our physical being.
Because they don't know what to do with us. Because see, after slavery...
do with us. They're doing what they doing with us. They
they do know what they want to do with us.
And physically.
Yeah, they know what they want to do with us. Is they want to get rid of us. You know? But...
How can you get rid of a lifeline? The melanin in us is a lifeline source. So to get rid of all black people, say they got rid of all black people in the world. Okay, all the black people's gone. Now, where is your health benefit going to come from? Because you need to be blocked by the sun, these rays, and all these things that can kill you, that the melanin helps not let kill you. Then what they'll do?
Yeah.
They go after the darker people, the Spanish, the Dominicans, the almost black people. I mean, how does that
How
work?
far is it going to go? Yeah.
You know?
You know, but see, here's the thing. This is what Muhammad Ali said.
What? That's my man.
Yes, indeed.
What?
He said the only thing that stands between their creator and the destruction of the world are melanated people. And I believe that. The creator is like, no, my people are there. I'm not going to destroy the world. This, that, and the other. You know? You know, these people are thieves. If they had a history, why are they still in ours? And why are they scared of black people? Because they know who we are. Where we come from, and why it is so important to keep black people's history a secret. We are that powerful. That's what we need to understand, how powerful we really are. We are that powerful.
Fact. That's right.
Yes, indeed. WHGE 95.3 FM. I'm Patrice Gibbs.
Nsoromma in the building. Faith. David, hey yo, I'm so blessed to be I was running on empty, you hear me? Listen, yo, don't play with the health. The health is you gotta do that. You gotta be up on top of that. And I'm on top of my thing, you know what I'm saying? If I was overweight, I'd have took a LL Cool J. You heard me? Yeah, I'm much better now through the blessings. Hey, Sherry, what's good? Yo, Johan, what's happening? Vaughn, I see you. Hey yo, what's good? Me say, hey yo, I see all my people saying what's good. Yo, I'm blessed to be back, man. Yo, I do not want to see the hospital no more. I ain't never seen the hospital anyway. You know what I mean? That was my first time. It was crazy. Listen, I'm used to putting people in the hospital. Not
Watch out now.
Hey yo, psych.
Don't tell too much.
I said psych.
Yes, indeed. WHGE 95.3 FM.
Yeah,
buddy.
Yeah.
Nsoromma having a little fun. Letting them know he back in the house. Yeah,
boy, he's back. Back. Do the blessings though, man. Listen, if you're over 50, you need to get your prostate checked. I mean, it's very serious. And your blood pressure and your colon. Definitely get a colonoscopy. Yeah. Definitely if you're over 50. I waited till I was 54 to get it. And it almost cost me, for real. If I wasn't a healthy young man like I I do.
Mm-hmm.
And
Take
I was
care
a
of your
little
health,
overweight.
exercise.
Yeah, if I was overweight in any way, I would have. It would have been real bad on me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying you overweight a little bit and you over 50, go get your colon done.
Yes, and your prostate.
And your prostate.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. What's good? What's good?
Well, of course, this is not the first time this happened.
What?
A black man wrongfully detained by police at the U.S. Bank, at U.S. Bank in a viral video. A Minnesota man's encounter with law enforcement has gone viral after the recent release of body camera footage showing him being handcuffed inside a U.S. Bank branch as he tried to cash his paycheck. Oh, this one was crazy. Joe Morrow, 23, had just finished a 12-hour shift. So brother tired at the grocery distributor when, as he tried to cash his $900 check at a branch, U.S. Bank branch in Columbia Heights, Minnesota, the teller serving him called the manager over. He said, Mr. Morrow said, they were all looking at me and just staring at me. And then looking at the check and then staring at me again. And I'm already knowing what they're thinking, that the check is fake. Morrow said in an interview with KTST, Banking While Black. The manager, he came over and said, Joe Morrow, your check is fake. And I said, what? Wait a minute. He said, nah, you people always come in here with fake checks. So according to this bank manager, you people, and you know what they mean when they say, you people,
What they mean?
N-word. That's what they mean.
I was
just
wondering what that means. You people.
Yeah, you people. They say, and I catch a black person saying that to me. Well, I don't really go down around Pine Street because you people over there, I will kick your ass.
So, why we don't have a black bank so we don't have to deal with that?
Well, we do have black banks, but they're not widespread enough that they are really beneficial. And you know what? I wish I had bought this story. And because, look, after the Civil War, the Freedmen's Bureau started a bank. Okay, and this bank was specifically for black people. And black people were running in there.
And what's the name of it? The Freedmen's?
The Freedmen's Bureau Bank.
Oh, the Freedmen's Bureau Bank.
Yes.
I never heard of it.
Okay. It was right after the Civil War. I'm going to give you more history on it.
Gotcha.
And what happened was black people went in droves.
Okay.
And deposited in this bank.
Okay.
Okay. And then some white people took over this bank and ripped off the money. And they said, wait a minute.
Oh, like they did with BET.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They basically just stole the money. And this gave black people a very understandable lack of trust in putting their money in the bank. How many of you got grandparents that put the money under the mattress?
But when you put it in the bank, isn't it supposed to be insured? I mean,
well,
get some type of money back if something happened to it, right?
Yeah.
Unless it's what? The bank just close out, what? They don't get nothing?
Well, actually, that didn't come about until, Black Tuesday in the 20s, 1929, October 1929, when the banks failed. And people couldn't get their money and they lined up. And then they came in with the FDIC, the Federal Deposit Insurance Contribution Act, which protects your money up to a certain amount. But that wasn't in place when the Freedmen's Bureau Bank was established.
Okay.
So we've had a history of dealing with banks, and we've had some black banks that have failed and what have you, and lost people's money, and not a whole lot happened. Now, police responded to the bank where Morrow was there for over 45 minutes.
Okay.
There for 45 minutes. And he told him, he said, look, this check is real. I know I'm innocent. And he told the police sergeant that.
Right.
And he said, I'm going to report you too because this is racial. Now, he was not raising his voice or using profanity, but the police officer threatened him with arrest, saying, I need you to calm down. First of all, okay, I need you to don't say anything stupid because you're just going to get arrested for it. So if you defend yourself to a police officer, and if you're too passionate in that defense, then you're being loud. Even though this man was calm and not cursing, all right? And this is what they do. Calm down. Calm down. You know, you could be speaking in very even terms, very grammatically correct, and using all the right words and not being physical in your expression. But they're going to tell you, calm down. Calm down. Stop defending yourself here. You know? Because if you keep on, I'm going to lock you up.
See, the only thing work in these type of situations is you can't argue with that. Because that's creating paperwork for them, for you, when you respond to them. So you have to shut up and fight them and paperwork. Take their firearm. Put a lien on their firearm. You know what I'm saying? If you're a security guard or police officer, you as a citizen have the right to put a lien on that firearm, permit if you feel as though they're being racial to you or they doing something that's out of the ordinary, them being able to carry that firearm. We got to go deeper than just arguing with these people.
Right.
You understand? And that's how you get them. If you take the firearm, we got to go to court because you was getting ready to kill me because you got a firearm on you. And if I wasn't saying the right thing, you would have killed me.
That's right.
So now you put liens on their firearm permits and then bring them to court, and that's when you discuss. They won't be able to carry that firearm once you put that lien in on them. They won't be able to carry that firearm, so they can't go to work. So that's how you hurt them. You don't hurt them by arguing with them.
Right.
You get Billy Club. You understand? So you gotta fight them smart, like they fighting you. They make paperwork out on you. So you make paperwork out on them. You shut up and do what you gotta do. That's why they don't want us to learn and they don't want us to read and they don't want us to know what's in these books. You know what's the most dangerous thing in the world?
Yeah.
Is a black man with a book.
That's
and
right.
the second one is a black man with a gun. Now, how does that sound?
And you know what? I believe that the black man with the book is even more feared than the black man with the gun.
That's the order I put it in.
Right.
Of course he is. You understand?
You know?
And that's that. You don't need a gun when you got the book. You can think of ways to get them without even touching them. When you got knowledge.
Right.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
Morrow stood up, out of his chair,
Right.
and he was immediately handcuffed.
Of course. He showed aggressive movement.
Yeah, and what the cop said was he flexed at the bank manager in a threatening manner. And Morrow said, I didn't threaten him. I got up like I'm mad. The guy told the officer, can you get him out of my office? He might take something off my desk. So see, what this bank manager has done is he has characterized this young black man as a criminal. Without this young black man showing any motivation to commit any crimes, he's only trying to get what's his, and that's the money from his work.
So what type of punishment do you think these people should get for doing all of this?
First of all, the bank manager should be fired, the teller should be fired, and the cop should be fired.
But it's their job to look for people that do that.
Yeah.
But they don't look to their own people, and they the white collar crime committers. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, when back in the day when they was robbing the banks, Billy the Kid and all of them, they was set up. The bank manager would call Billy the Kid and say, "Yo, we got money in here. Come get this." They all knew each other. It was a ring.
Yeah.
So
and what was Billy the Kid considered? A hero.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he was a murderer and a bank robber, a goddamn crook.
Boop. I missed a couple of paragraphs when I went here to get me boots. Oh, Miss Hughes, he go hard, I tell you.
Yes, indeed. And that's what he was.
Wow.
That's exactly what he was. He was a crook. WHGE 95.3 FM. Jeez, we good.
Sherry said, I saw that the cop said he needed to be verified. In other words, needed papers to prove what he's doing.
Ain't that a blip? Once again, them freedom papers.
Right.
Yeah, buddy. All right. All right. You often heard us talk about America's health care. You know, Big Pharma does not produce medicine or find cures. What they do is produce pills to keep you addicted in perpetuity. So that you will need these pills for the rest of your life. You are a prophet. You know, they're not making any cures. What they're doing is they're making addicts. They're making customers. How did this come about? What happened to holistic medicine? And was it ever a factor in America? Well, Western medicine has some good points and is great in an emergency. But it's high time people realize that today's mainstream medicine, Western medicine or allopathy, with its focus on drugs, radiation, drugs, surgery, drugs, and more drugs, is at its foundation a money-spinning Rockefeller creation. Now, for all you conspiracy theory people out there that say, oh, here you go with that, the Rockefeller did it. No, this is history. This ain't no damn conspiracy theory. People these days look at you like a weirdo if you talk about the healing properties of plants or any other holistic practices. Much like anything else, politics and money have been used to warp people's minds and encourage them to embrace what is bad for them. And it all began with who? John D. Rockefeller, who was an oil magnate, a robber baron, America's first billionaire, and a natural-born bastard. A monopolist. He had a monopoly on oil. By the turn of the 20th century, he controlled 90% of all oil refineries in the U.S. through his oil company, Standard Oil, which was later on broken up and became Chevron, Exxon, and Mobil, which he still had a hand in. World Affair.
You can't knock the man hustle.
For sure.
He had a plan.
Yeah, he damn
If
sure
you have
did.
a plan and it worked, you can't knock the man hustle.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's why we need a plan.
That I'm telling you.
We need a plan.
But see, here's the difference between the plan that we would implement and the plan of someone like a John D. Rockefeller.
Okay.
Our plan would have a measure of humanity. Rockefeller didn't give a damn.
Ooh.
Yeah. Around 1900, scientists discovered petrochemicals and the ability to create all kinds of chemicals from oil. For example, the first plastic, called Bakelite, was made from oil in 1907. Now, scientists were discovering various vitamins, and guess that many pharmaceutical drugs could be made from what? Oil. Mm-hmm. This was a wonderful opportunity for Rockefeller, who saw the ability to monopolize the oil, chemical, and the medical industries at the same time. The best thing about petrochemicals was that everything could be patented and sold for high profit. But there was one problem with Rockefeller's plan for the medical industry. Remember, Rockefeller was not a doctor.
Right.
Okay?
He was like Bill Gates.
Yeah, he was the Bill Gates of his time.
Right.
Of the oil baron.
Right.
Robber baron. They know nothing about medicine. But here was the problem. Natural herbal medicines were very popular in the U.S. in the early 1900s. Almost half the doctors and medical colleges in the U.S. were practicing holistic medicine using knowledge from Europe, Africa, and from Native Americans.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I hope they ain't hit my car.
I hope not. What we just heard was some gunshot.
That's right. Right outside the studio.
Right outside the studio.
6 shots. Boom,
Yeah.
bang, 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 bang.
And I hope no one got killed.
Right.
Damn. Anyway, Rockefeller, the monopolist, had to figure out a way to get rid of his biggest competition. So he used the classic strategy of problem, reaction, solution, which is control out of chaos. That is, create a problem, scare people, and then offer a solution. And it's similar to what the American government does now, especially in our neighborhoods. He went to his buddy Andrew Carnegie,
Right.
another robber baron bastard, who was monopolizing the steel industry, and they devised a scheme. From the prestigious Carnegie Foundation, they sent a man named Abraham Flexner to travel around the country and report on status of medical colleges and hospitals around the country. This led to the Flexner Report, which gave birth to modern medicine as we know it. Needless to say, the report talked about the need for revamping, centralizing our medical institutions. And based on this report, more than half of all medical colleges were soon closed. Okay? Natural medicines were mocked and demonized, and doctors were even jailed. It's Rockefeller.
Wow.
To help with the transition and change the minds of other doctors and scientists, Rockefeller gave more than $100 million to colleges, hospitals, and founded the philanthropic front group, General Education Board. And this is the classic carrot and stick approach. In a very short time, medical colleges were all streamlined and homogenized. All the students were learning the same thing. And medicine was all about using patented drugs. Scientists received huge grants to study how plants cured diseases. But their goal was to first identify which chemical in the plant was effective and then create a similar chemical, but not identical, in the lab that could be patented. A pill for an ill became the mantra of modern medicine. You got a problem? Let me give you a pill.
Wow.
So now, here we are 100 years later, turning out doctors who know nothing about the benefits of nutrition or herbs and any holistic practices. We have an entire society that has enslaved the corporations for its well-being. America spends 15% of its gross GDP, with gross domestic product, on health care, which should really be called sick care, because it's focused not on cure, but on symptoms, thus creating repeat customers, a bunch of junkies. There's no cure for cancer, diabetes, autism, asthma, even flu.
Here's that one.
Yeah, somebody got killed out here, unfortunately, or shot. Why would there be real cures? This is a system founded by oligarchs and plutocrats, not doctors. Corporate hustlers. Plutocrats, yeah. And what that means is rich people, you know, who, control the economy. The plutocrats. It's just crazy. And this is what we're dealing with. And you wonder why our medical system is so messed up. Because it's strictly for profit. We have insurance companies that will say, well, hey, they ain't got no medical degree, but we ain't paying for that. You don't need that. An operation on your what? Nah, you don't need that.
Right. How can that be left up to another person that's not a medical profession that even have the right to be able to say you can get this or you can't get that?
Right.
You know, that in itself is wrong. And I'm paying a premium that I'm thinking is supposed to protect me, and you know, that's messy too.
Yes, it is.
That's another whole shift.
Yeah. How about that? You know. Hey,
they right outside. Man.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Well, the shooting was right out here. It seems like. We will find out when we get off the air here. You seen Jane Elliott? You know Jane Elliott.
Jane Elliott. The white lady?
The white lady.
Yes, that's my baby girl.
Yes,
That's my baby girl.
I heard that. And there's a video that has become popular right now where she addresses an audience of white people.
Right.
And she says to them, if you're willing to trade places with a black person in America, stand up.
Nobody stand up.
Nobody stood up.
So they know exactly how black people being treated.
That's right.
You know.
And that's what she told him. You won't stand up because you know how black people are being treated in this country. And you wouldn't trade places with them because you know what's going on. But you allow it to happen to them. And that's okay with you. You know, years earlier, James Baldwin, the great James Baldwin, basically said the same thing. There's not a black person, there's not a white person in America will trade places with a black person and go through what we've gone through. Because they know the truth of what's going on. And how often do we hear these white people say, well, there's, you're making too much noise. It's not as bad as you're making out. Yes, it is. And you know it is. And that's what James Baldwin said. You're a liar because you know what's going on. See, by all rights of human nature, our people should be angry, bitter, and murderously vengeful. It is by the grace of the Creator that we are not. We are really special people because after all we've been through, we still have humanity and empathy enough to turn to someone that's different from us, white, Asian, or otherwise, and say, you deserve to live. You deserve the right to life, liberty, and happiness just as much as anyone else.
That's right.
But don't be mad at me because I'm racial. I didn't say I was racist. I don't have the power to be racist because I can't deny anyone anything based on their race. I don't have that power. But I am racial in the fact that I am for the upliftment of my people, and that is primary and a priority in my outlook. If it's not in yours, I feel sorry for you. WHGE 95.3 FM on Patrice Gibbs.
Nsoromma in the building.
Yes, D, welcome back, brother.
Yes, yes.
And as we always say, destiny determines who enters your life, but you decide who stays.
Right.
Therefore, value those who value you, and don't treat those as a priority who treat you
As an option.
WHGE 95.3 FM.
Yaga! Thanks for tuning in. Yo, Robin, what's up?
Ooh, what's going on?
Shout out. Oh, you know what it is, yo. Hey, yo, what's up? What's up? Slide. Yeah. What's happening?
Yes, Lord.
Thanks for tuning in. You know our time has come. You know we only get an hour, so you know what it is. Thank y'all all, you know what I'm saying, for the prayers and everything, you know what I'm saying. I appreciate y'all. Yo, Big.
Hey. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your comments. Yes, indeed. We definitely appreciate y'all. Hey, look, we on YouTube, TikTok. Share us all over the place. All right? So we could get this thing moving. All right.
Thank y'all again, you know what I'm saying. Nsoromma in the building. Yo, P, Shonda, Baker. Hey, yo, hey, Faye, Jacoby.